Hi, welcome to Caribou Country Lifestyle. My name is Cheryl. Today I'm going to be doing some Christmas treats. I'm starting with some spiced nuts. I make spiced nuts every year at Christmas time. I usually do anywhere from 2 to 3 batches. I give a lot of it away. I'm also making Cuban lunch today. Those are chocolates. You used to be able to buy it in the store, and they came in these paper wrapper cups, and it had plastic over top of it, and they had 3 different kinds of chocolate. I'm going to be making those today. And I just wanted to show you, in my last video I did dehydrated apples. So I got 2.5 freezer bags filled with dehydrated apples. So that actually worked out really well. I'm super excited about having these. Like I say, they're a great snack when you're sitting in front of the TV. I'm just sitting there, so I'm not doing anything. So I'm always looking for a snack, and this is a good alternative to that also. So let's get started on the spiced nuts. I'm gonna set my timer, I'm gonna set the temperature on my oven for 325. And first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out, there is brown sugar, white sugar, and there's some different spices. We have 4 different spices that we're going to be putting in. So we need 1/2 cup of brown sugar. Just trying to pack it in there. So 1/2 cup of brown sugar. I'm putting it in the smaller bowl. And 1/2 cup of white sugar. And then we need 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. There's 1. And 1/2. Half a teaspoon of nutmeg. Half a teaspoon of ginger. And then 1/4 of a teaspoon of cloves. When it says spiced nuts, it does not mean spicy as in hot. It's just a really nice spice to it. It's more of a baking spice, I would say. And then I need a spoon. I just want to mix this all up and break up the clumps in the brown sugar, because you usually end up with a few clumps of brown sugar. We just want to have this good and mixed together, have all the sugar and the spices incorporated together. That should be good. And we'll put this off to the side. Now we need 1 egg white. And I was making rice pudding, and I only needed an egg yolk. So I put the egg white in a container because I knew I was going to be making spiced nuts. So I just saved that egg white easier. So a tablespoon of water. And then I'm going to whisk the egg white and the water together, because I want it to have that frothy. Yeah, so you want it so it's just with the egg white in there and it's just frothy. Okay? And then I'm going to add my brown sugar mixture. Stir that in. And you just want it so that it's just mixed in well. And then I'm going to add the nuts to it. And we need to measure out 4 cups of mixed nuts. When I get my mixed nuts, I just get them from Walmart, and this was $20 for just over a kg of mixed nuts. I filled it up 3 cups, just barely over 3 cups with the mixed nuts, but I like to top it up with pecans. And these are just pecans that I get from Costco. And I'm going to add that to my mixture. We'll stir this just so that the nuts are coated. Make sure that everything is well coated on the nuts. So now we have this all coated, and I have a pan cookie sheet here with parchment paper on it. This way it doesn't make a big huge mess, and with me doing 2 or 3 batches of this, I just keep reusing the same pan and the same parchment paper. So I get every little bit out of the bowl. And then we'll just spread this out. Just get all of this on top. So while my oven is heating up, because I still have to wait for that to heat up, we'll move on to the Cuban lunch now. Okay, so my oven is ready. I'm just going to put my spiced nuts into the oven. And they will be in the oven for 20 minutes, and I will stir them occasionally. And why I'm going to do that is that those coating that's on the nuts, as it's baking onto it, I'm going to keep stirring it like every 7 minutes or so, and just make sure that that coating is still being worked in around those nuts and incorporated to keep it so that it's sticking to the nuts, and then it kind of just bakes onto the nuts. We are going to move on to the Cuban lunch. So what I was doing while I was waiting for my oven to be ready, I'm just taking my Rice Krispies and I put them in a freezer bag, and I am crushing them. And it just gives a really nice little crisp crunch in that chocolate. Okay, so to start, 1 full package of milk chocolate chips. And I'm putting them in my 8-cup Pyrex measuring. Then I'm going to add 1 package of butterscotch chips. And 1 package of peanut butter chips. I'm going to put this through in the microwave to melt my chocolate. I usually do it at 1-minute intervals, and then I stir in between until my chocolate chips are all melted. So after a minute, and I just want to it's just starting to melt. So I'm just gonna stir this around, and then I'll put it back in the microwave. Now, if you don't have a microwave or you don't want to use a microwave, you could put this on the stove on low and just keep stirring your chips until they're melted. But it's just faster in the microwave for me and easier. And definitely a lot more melted. And I'll just keep stirring this, because if I don't have to put it in there for another minute, then I won't. But I also want to make sure that all of those chocolate chips are all melted before we add the next ingredients in. I don't even know I got this recipe from my mom. I have no idea who she got it from, or if she found it, but we have been making this every year ever since I got this recipe. Okay, so that's pretty melted. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1.5 cups of my crushed Rice Krispies. Okay. And 1/2 cup. And I need 1.5 cups of salted peanuts. I guess you could use not salted. Okay, and now I'm going to stir this together. This is all the ingredients we need. And then I also picked up a bunch of these little Christmas paper cups. They're not your traditional size muffin cup. It's a small paper cup, and they have a Christmas print on them. Looks really super cute. Nice for giving. And this one here has a snowflake on the bottom with some gnomes around it. This one has a little mitten on it with some candy canes and cranberries and snowflakes. And this one has a tree on the bottom with snowflakes and little reindeers around the side. So super cute. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take my 2 spoons and I'm just going to put some of the mixture on. We're going to drop it into one of these cups. Okay. There's no baking that goes into this. Once we've done this, then I just put these in the fridge and let them set, or I could put them outside even. So a really super easy recipe, and they are so good. You just gotta watch that you don't fill them too full. I have a tendency to do that, and then or I'm tipping the cups over because I have filled them too full. I'll just push that down a little, And I'll just put a smidge more in this one, just to get that one a little fuller. I could clean my spoon off. Okay. And I will just keep filling these up. I should look and see. Okay, I'm gonna give these nuts a stir. I almost forgot, and I was already at the halfway mark. That should be good. And in these nuts, there's a mix of Brazil nuts, cashews, almonds, hazelnuts, and pecans. Keep filling these cups up. My sister from Saskatchewan and her husband are coming here for Christmas. So we have been talking to each other and figuring out what she needed to bring as far as Christmas goodies go. So she's going to be making some molasses cookies. And I have to make my son molasses cookies because they would have to be gluten and dairy free. And I have a really good recipe for gluten and dairy free molasses cookies, which I will share with you as well once I get to making those. I've just started. This is the very first of any of my Christmas baking. And geez, I haven't even set my tree up yet, and I usually have my tree set up the first weekend in December, and this has just not happened. And a lot of what it is we got these two kittens, and as cute as they are, they're kind of a pain in the butt. But we've kind of figured out a couple of things that have worked in keeping the kittens off of things. Like, they like to go on my kitchen table. So what we did was we cut off some chunks of tin foil and we just placed them on our placemats, one for on each placemat around the table. So we have 6 chunks of foil, and those kittens don't like it. They don't go on the table now. So unfortunately, this morning after my husband left for work, I heard a crash, and I thought maybe, I was still in bed, I thought maybe that he had dropped something, but I looked at the time and he would have already have left for work. So when I came out this morning, the kittens had been on my island and they knocked down one of my Mexican bowls that I had some candies in it. So I wasn't overly happy about that. So when I went downtown today to go and get my little paper cups to make these Cuban lunch, I ended up putting tin foil along the side of the island where the bar stools are pushed up to it. I mean, they're just getting to the point that they're getting big enough that they can jump on things. Yeah, well, they got up on my bar stools and then hopped up onto the island and wreaked havoc up there. Why I haven't set my tree up, because I'm a little nervous about what my kittens are going to do to my tree. The last time we got kittens, we had them out in the shop before Christmas even came. So yeah, we didn't have to deal with the same issues that we are doing this year. We have the Cuban lunch is all finished. I ended up getting 48 little Cuban lunch cups, and then here are the spiced nuts, and I've stirred them up and everything, and now they have that really nice coating that's baked onto them, and I'm just waiting for those to cool off as well. So I've already got all my stuff ready to do another batch of each. I'm back. I have done my second batch of the Cuban lunch, and I have also done the second batch of the spiced nuts. And when I put this second batch in there, this will pretty much, I think, oh yeah, I'm just making sure they were cooled off enough before I dump them in here. Uh-oh. There we go, that's better. I thought I had a good enough hold on there, but clearly I didn't. At least I have the cookie sheet to catch that. I'll just dump this in here. So that's pretty good. I mean, that's great for our snacking and also to fill up little baggies to give as gifts. So that'll work out great. This container here that I'm keeping all my Cuban lunch in, I've already put the first batch in here, and then once these are set, then I'll put those in there too. I also wanted to show you that I had, this is what I had my cream sausage tomato seeds drying on, because I had fermented them to save the seeds. And I probably have about 50 seeds in that pouch. So that's awesome. That'll do me for quite a few years now. I usually only plant about 10 seeds every year, and then depending on which ones take, which ones make it, then I figure, yeah, I'll get about 5 years out of these seeds here. So I just wanted to show you what I had going on for this week. So thanks for joining me. We'll talk again soon. Bye for now.